deception. Won't you live in a dream with me? You'll get all my affection, affection, affection. Oh, affection, affection, affection. Yeah.
hello. Oh, it looks like my PNG's not working. Oh no. But hello, welcome to another episode of Awkward Moments with Jatsu. I'm just gonna keep it here for the time being. I need to swap the PNG. Oh my god, guys, it's gonna be so scuffed today. I'm so sorry. So, if you guys follow my Twitter, then you'll know I stupidly, we love to see it. We love to see the scuff. I stupidly wiped everything from my computer, which was really not clever of me at all. Why is it still not showing? Where are you? Why is it not? Is it because I'm not? No, I'm in a voice chat. Oh, there it is. There it is. Hello. Hello. There I am. It's working. Okay, so it just needed a refresh. Yeah. So I updated my computer a couple of days ago, and it was working fine and everything. And then yesterday it decided it didn't want to work anymore. So it was clashing with something that I had on my system. My computer was then stuck in a restart loop. So it was just continuously restarting, would not let me do anything with it. It was just restarting, errors occurred, restarting, errors occurred. I managed to boot it up in recovery mode. And I was like, okay, I can boot it up in recovery mode. I can fix the disks to see what's causing the problems. I didn't read the instructions properly. The instructions were to fix each disk's parts individually. I went and fixed everything, which then led to a complete wipe of my system. Also meant that I completely and utterly removed the hard drive itself. Well, I didn't remove the hard drive itself, it just wiped it absolutely clean, like it was absolutely brand new. So I then had to repartition the hard drive that was in my computer and then reinstall the OS. So yeah, I practically factory reset my computer. Therefore meaning I lost everything, all the artwork, all the assets. Luckily, all of the emotes and stuff are already uploaded. And the t-shirt, oh my god, I completely forgot to release the t-shirt today. Which I will do now whilst I have you guys in chat. So I've been talking about releasing t-shirt on the Fourth Wall app, which is still happening because I'd already uploaded the artwork to be, to go onto the t-shirt to be released, etc. So that's fine. It's all good. That's one of the things that luckily I did and sorted. So let's public it. The t-shirt is now live, along with the print. Woo! Okay, so if you fancy buying a t-shirt with one of my drawings, one of my sexy drawings, do go check out the Fourth Wall website where my store is, and you can see the lovely and amazing t-shirt. Well, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it is. I enjoyed drawing it. I've lost the drawing now, by the way, so I can't do anything more with it. Just as well that I didn't finish colouring it in, and it was just a black and white version. You think it's amazing? Thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate your lovely and kind words. Let's see if my capture card is going to work as well. Da-da! It works! Oh, I can stop the music because we can play the Ace Attorney songs instead. Because the soundtrack is amazing for this game. Let's go to the orchestra hall. Dun dun! Ooh! Ah! I love this. Can I mean, it should play all the songs, so. Let me know if the volume's okay on the music as well. because I literally quickly set this up yesterday. Oh my God. I had to re-download everything and then was like, okay, right, how do I get Elgato to connect to my OBS? And the way I remembered it was I just connected the Elgato to the Switch and to my computer, and then got OBS to do the capture card, and then it pulled through audio as well as video. However, this time round, only pulled through the video and not the audio. I've now had to add the audio in as a separate kind of thing, which I don't remember having to do when I first set it up, but it could just be that I've forgotten. Anyway, so I did all of that. I have none of my usual like openings. I do have the ending, but I need to fix it up because the text, I'm going to show you the text, hang on, really quickly. It's just OBS text. I do not have my Be Right Back screen, so I need to redo a new one. I'll need to redo a new starting stream screen as well. And with my PNG, I've had to go back to using Fuji because again, I only recently updated my PNG. I no longer have those files, which will be an excuse for me to rework another PNG, which could potentially be a live 2D model if I can muster the energy for it. But it's all going to be like a full, hey Zerk, yes, cry for me. I've lost everything. It's so sad. And funny enough, I was telling Alfie Worm about it. I was just like, oh my God, Alfie Worm, I've royally fucked up. I have just wiped everything. Oh no, it shouldn't be Zerk. It should be hello, baby meow. And then I just, to be honest, bro, I really said cry for me. Literally. But yeah, so I was talking to Alfie Worm and I was just like, I'm completely unfazed by what I've just done. Most people would be screaming and shouting and crying, and I was just sat there like, oh. So this has happened. Okay. Okay. I suppose I'll just have to deal with it and make do. But I was out drinking and pissed myself with message, had no signal, so I couldn't respond for ages. No, that's absolutely fine. To be honest, when I had messaged you to ask for help, it was already too late. It was already too late. I'd already done. I'd already wiped it. There was nothing you could have done anyway, honestly. The only time you would have been able to help me was if was me wiping the whole entire thing. All I got was I fucked up. Yeah, literally. I messaged Elfie Worm and Tyria like, I fucked up. I fucked up. That's all I could say. It was just like, I've done this. I fucked up. Oh well. But silver lining is that I get what is essentially a brand new computer, because honestly wish I was there to help. No, that's absolutely fine, Zach. No, it's fine. It is what it is, and I don't see the point in getting upset or angry over it. It's what's done is done. Or about the time machine. Oh, I overwrote it. No. I was like, hey Jetsu, you have a time machine, right? You know, all Macs do. And I was like, yeah, but I overwrote it to play games with you. I overwrote it to play games with you, and I was going to get another one, like one with more memory to replace it when I had less finances going out, and that time never came. Less finances going out never came. The silliest geese. Yeah, I mean, this is the second time this has happened. But the first time wasn't me. The first time I had some hardware fault, so I had to take my computer into Apple anyway, and they had to factory reset the whole entire thing regardless. So I lost everything then, and then that was when I was like, okay, I need to back up everything. And I was really good with backing up everything and being really religiously like good with it and doing it every once a month, blah blah blah. And then I just got lazy. Oh well, I was doing Time Machine and backup, And then the hard drive I had the Time Machine on ran out of space, so I couldn't do any more Time Machine backups. So then I got another external to start putting like bits of just files into it, just to be like, right, okay, I might not be able to Time Machine you, but at least I've got copies of the files somewhere else. I had told myself that I should do these file backups once a month or something like that. So that even if I did lose everything, at least I'd only lose like a month's worth of work. I stopped doing it about a year or so ago because like, it's fine, it's safe, you know, what could go wrong? I was so wrong. So wrong. But like I said, silver lining, I have a quotation marks brand new computer, which has allowed me today to probably run the highest quality and smoothest stream I've ever been able to run in my whole entire streaming career. Like, I'm doing 1080p, I'm able to run it at 6,000 bit rates as well. My internet connection as well, usually it's around 2,000, 3,000 kbps. Today is running at 6,000. Yeah, because there's nothing on your PC. Exactly. It won't last for long, you know that, right? So today's stream is brought to you with the smoothest and best quality ever. And you know what? It's probably the best way to begin Apollo Justice as well. Right? It is the best way to bring you guys Apollo Justice, because you're not going to get quality like this later on in my streaming career. So much sacrifice. One stream later, chugga chugga. Exactly. But because it's running a lot smoother now, that means I can probably do some of the... So I need to do a load of artwork anyway. So I can probably now stream quite smoothly art streams, right? Which means you guys can join me on my journey to redoing all of my assets. So you'll get to watch me do some either really simple animations or slightly... I can't say that my animation skills are that good enough to say that I do complicated animations, or you know what, even worse, you can witness me do really weird timings on animations, because everyone's like, oh, you either double up the frames or you go singles, or you know, or 3s or 4s. I will do a mixture of 1, 2, 3s and 4s, and maybe 6s and 8s, just depending on the animation and the scene I need it for, because I'm only one person doing like 10 seconds of animation by myself, which is still a lot of work, because you do the layout and then you do the I don't really do I say I don't really do storyboard. I mean my sketches are probably the storyboarding part, so it'd be the storyboarding, the layout, then the all the timings with all like the rough lines, and then the lining, like the final cleanups, and then the coloring, and then the compositing. Oh my god, there's a lot of work to be done. And even for 10 seconds, it takes a long time. And this is why all my assets took me so long to do, like, what, almost 2 years to do. And then when I finally get them all up and running and everything, I lose everything. It's just typical. But we will come out better in this situation. We'll come out on top and better. We are set out to improve, right? You know, what does not kill me just makes me even more irritated. Right, before I irritate chat. Oh, but right, despite all the messes and whatnots, all of the alerts and like redeems should still work, because as you can see, Streamlabs is still working. So you got like the socials. See, all the socials are working. Never back down, never what? Never gonna give you up. You're trying to rickroll me. And look, see, all the sound alerts still work. Just watch them not work now. Oh my god, why are you not working? Hang on, they should work. I just realised chat's not working as well. Why are you not working? Test. There we go. There we go. It should work.
Denied.
Not even. It's a movie scene meme. Like, I think it's an army movie when the guy is telling to not give up. Oh, okay. Stretch. Yeah, thank you for the stretch. Redeem. Baby meow. Look, it's you. Oh, and then I think the voice redeems are there.
What do you want, loser?
There we go, but Rickroll is better. Of course Rickroll's better. Stop. So there, it's all there, all working. I just had to refresh everything, which is all good. Okay, right. Let us... Okay, I mentioned this last time. I cheated a bit on you guys because I went away to Wales and so there's 3 games. So there's Apollo Justice or Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. And then there's Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright Jules Destinies. And also Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice. When I was in Wales, I played Spirit of Justice with Alfie Worms because she wanted to see my reaction, or she wanted my opinion on the game, and I'd not actually played this one before. And we got about we did chapters 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we did 3 chapters, and then I had to obviously we couldn't continue because I had to come home. So I will finish the rest with you guys. Obviously, I'll be starting from the beginning, but it'll be a while yet before we come to this game because we're going to be doing Apollo Justice first, and then a couple of weeks' time will be September, which will be when Miles Edgeworth Investigations comes home. And so we will be playing that next after this game because timeline-wise, it works better. Yeah. Even though I still feel like Miles Edgeworth should be first before this game, but because it's not here yet and we should really continue with this world, we are going to be playing this one first. And it's not too bad timeline-wise. It still works out even with this game first. So let us begin. New game. So excited. There's so many new characters in this one. I absolutely love it. Oh, The Turnabout Trials is the title of the game. Dun, dun, dun. It's an artiste. Is this on the first chapter? Someone's playing cards. Showdown time. You lose. Ah! Thank you, baby meow. Eek! Gonna be streaming after I sort some bits. No worries. Thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit. And I also appreciate you offering to help, even though it was too late then. But thank you. I will see you later. If you're still streaming when I am, or when I finish, I will probably raid you. Dead. Someone hit him hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that? Dun dun dun. I missed a little bit. Text. But I also miss voicing these games. Which also reminds me. So I was playing The Boogeyman, and I had the game do the I allowed the game recorded VAs to read the lines, but I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to. So on Tuesday, I'm gonna take off the VA's voices and then do the voices myself. I think I'll enjoy it a bit more doing it that way. Panicked, palms sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Knees weak, arms heavy. I mean, mum's spaghetti. What is that? Mum's spaghetti? But, right, my friend, no, Elfie Worms likes Kristoff. I'm not a fan of Kristoff. I'm not a big fan of him. He is very pretty, but I'm not a fan of him. I'm a fan of his brother, though. His brother. We will meet him, probably not in this chapter, maybe in the next one. But yeah. So Kristoff is very pretty, but yeah, we like his brother better. Kristoff's okay. Yeah, exactly, he's okay. Wound up, sir. No, I'm loose. I'm fine. I'm loose. God's sakes, Apollo. He's no sexy judge. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. He's what now? Apparently he's loose, Tyria. Apollo's loose. Your first trial and it's a homicide, I guess. Justice doesn't start small way. I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Cause of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. Oh, one more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Oh, guys, are you ready? This client. This client. Oh my God. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Our client! Whoa. Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous, meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're fine. I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me. Are you sure you're okay with me? Apollo! So first you're loose and now you're asking if this person's okay with you? Mr. Gavin's a top-notch defense attorney and he's your friend, so why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, it's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. So we don't know his name yet. I know who he is, and anyone who's played the game knows who he is, but I don't want to spoil it because it's a bit obvious, but not obvious. And oh, I love him. I love him. Okay, I need to focus. His hat says Papa, but my heart says Daddy. Exactly. Oh, Tyria. First trial. Here comes justice. April 20th, 10 a.m, District Court. Courtroom number 2. It's Mr. Payne. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, if that's... of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Hello. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Now, long time no see, Mr. Wright. It's Mr. Wright. So we call this version Hobo Nick. Hobo Nick is actually, I mean, he is nice in the suit, but here he's a bit more mature. He's got that beard going, and you know, and yeah. Oh shit. Oh, Hobo Nick's my favourite. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright. He looks like he could work in a shit kitchen. Exactly. He's a piano player. He is a piano player. I didn't even know he could play piano until this game. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think that I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne, subtle as ever, I see. Look at his hair. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack. Killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems? Phoenix Wright, the pianist. This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. A deadly bottle of grape juice. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record, right. I've heard of that. Use R to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, use R. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Okay, so we have our badge. Oh, we have the autopsy report. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to forehead. This is the photo. And then this is the deadly grape juice, which we can now analyze. Nice. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favourite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. I probably pronounced that wrong, but hey. Oh. The bottle's completely empty. Okay. So the victim was a customer at this restaurant, but just who was this Shady Smith? Not Shady Smith, fellow. Shady Smith, because he was shady, and no one knows who he is, so he's a Smith. We believe he was a travelling. We believe he was a traveller, Your Honour. A traveller? A According to his passport, he has been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear, and he has some sort of connection with the defendant. That too is unclear at present, Your Honour. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill, at least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Uh-oh. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honour. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs reefed? Their backs reefed in... Is it reef? I think it's reefed. Oh my god. I need to learn to read properly. Sound of that. Do you know what would also be helpful? If I connected my keyboard. Reeved. Okay. I forgot that I set that as the alert. Only the cards that backs reeved in blue flame know its final outcome. Ah, come again. The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honour. I believe the defence was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify these present and impress women. Those present? That will be our first order of business here then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Oh, 2 seconds. Aha. Oh. No, I don't need keyboard assist. We had this already. Witness testimony! The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play in the competition there are the club's main attraction. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game, and our customers are happy. Are you sure it's not illegal, Phoenix? I mean, it sounds illegal. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defence attorney who can't defend. Very well. The defence may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honour. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What do I do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course on cross-examination? No thanks. We're already experts at this. No need for help, sir. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think you know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The cause is still ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies. Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defence may begin the cross-examination. I'm a pianist by trade, yes, let's press every statement. You can hardly play. Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? The real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. They pay you just to play poker. That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Bah, do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. What? So it's been 7 years since Phoenix Wright has practiced law. Wait, how old does that make him? He's 33. Yeah, so he stopped at 25. Oh, no. Oh, wow, he's older than Christoph? Winston Payne is 61. What? I mean, I knew he was older. I didn't realize he was that old. Oh my god. He's almost as old as my dad. I mean, my dad's older, but he's as old as my dad. What? You see why the customers come now. Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? Play the competition. There's a club's main attraction. Hey Shroomy! Welcome in. Thank you for stopping by and I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. Hello. We are starting the Apollo Justice game. We've only just started. We are in court. We are defending Phoenix Wright. He has been accused of murder. And he has become a hobo. He's stopped practicing law for like 7 years. Boo. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Porsche Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? Or in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. I see Phoenix went into his loser phrase again. No, I mean, he's not really a loser. He's just... We all call this version of Nick Hobo Nick.
What do you want, loser?
That's really mean. Stop calling Nick a loser. He is... I mean, he is a professional poker player in this arc. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, the goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. And that window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Phoenix no loser phase was really temporary. I mean, he does come back to law later, like much later, but at the moment he's just hobo Nick. He doesn't practice law. He's well, you guys are gonna find out anyway. He's lost his license. I'm gonna ruin that part for you. He's lost his license. I won't tell you why he lost his license, but he did, and all will be revealed very shortly. The rules are simple. Play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards. A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate two decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lines scattered on the floor. Precisely, cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. And thank you for the second here, Redeem. The crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Christoph is very poetic. Sorry. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards were red and the other blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, I guess. Yes, a game of hands. Also, Terry reminds me of something. I can see it coming. Thank you so much for the hydrate redeem. I appreciate it. Oh, I will give you guys the. Oh no, it's stuck. Okay, let me redeem hydrate. Was that a good hydrate for you guys? I think I swallowed some air. Oh no. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime. That was a good hydrate, thank you. And now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honour. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defence. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like to make clear, namely your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little breath, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I'll say I never touched the murder weapon. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Grape juice bears it's got his fingerprints. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle, right? So I said. There's something the matter, Mr. Justice. Look at him doing his hair flick. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! He said that so slowly. No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears in our case. But what about my cause of steal? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on the bottle in the restaurant? Oh, well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove. Oh, that wouldn't be. They wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints, huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Yes, his little hair flick. To brain someone with the bottle. Brain someone? Who the hell calls it brain someone? I'm going to brain you with a bottle. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh, I see no problem. Justice? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. A defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? Well, this could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Your Honour, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder of the police? Oh, murder to the police. Reported? Oh, well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still, that Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get this reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose, yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. You claim he is being uncooperative. Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room at the very moment the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honour. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up to now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defence's demonic-looking horns. So here's a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. You are sure? I swear on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair crime, Your Honour? Well, if you are sure it is, okay. Now, the prosecution. Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? I said that so wrong. Yes. She is a professional, Your Honour. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be... My name is Olga Orley. I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is named in restaurant. Tyria sliding in with her, my name was mentioned? What did I remind you of? It was the hydrate redeem, Tyria. I did call you Tyria, didn't I? I thought I had said a different name. I went to get a drink, you went to get hydrate yourself. Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is named in restaurant, but I also perform, how it is said, other service. I take it one of those other services is taking the customer's pictures. Like for example, this one. That's the defendant. Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Order. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is the same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Casually accept it. They're being so casual. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout, you call it. Excuse me, the hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Bad guy? The famous bad guy. These names, honestly, the puns and the names of these characters. I love them. In is room where murder took place. Jesus. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. And with the usual gameplay of Ace Attorney, you would think that Olga is the murderer. I'm going to reveal now. It's going to spoil a little bit. But Olga is not the murderer. There is someone else, which I will not tell you who. But there is someone else. And Olga is not the murderer. I mean, look at her. Although she is hiding a secret. So we will find out about that secret a little bit later. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hands on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith?
Objection!
That's ridiculous, because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection, but he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid, it happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? I mean, yes, imagine that poker was war. Your hand is your army and the chips are the spoils. I know that, after all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. The poker head. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay, let's press Olga. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? Da, I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. It's already April, how could it be cold? At Borscht Club, we have pride in authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on his locket. He's not wearing one. No one there. There's an explanation to this, but you guys will have to wait. We're going to press this, and then I'm going to present that picture. His locket. I believe it was good luck charm, da. He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt it. He must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. If it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The victim would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Oh, of course I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding. So what happened next? We are going to present that picture. Was it wrong? Oh, it is wrong. But he has no locket there. Okay. Never mind then. I was so certain that that was the right evidence. Okay, fine. Fine, we'll continue pressing. Something terrible. Eee! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry, I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened, I trembled with fear. That man flew a victim strangling to death. But the defendant would never do such a thing. Eek! Well now, I can't say I've ever heard a defense try this tactic. If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker? Perhaps it is because the defendant has lost game. Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Go ahead, I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir, leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, and Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, Orley. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I just remembered I need to check something. Oh, okay. I forgot that I hadn't charged my headphones for a bit, and I was like, oh wait, how much battery have I got? I've got 40% left, so it'll last till the end of stream. I swim to your cars, it was cold. Right, so this isn't right because he was hit over the head, so he didn't get strangled to death. Oh really? Strangled, you say? Well, that's odd. Duh, normal customers only choke on borscht. They only choke on the borscht. How bad is it? They're choking on it. No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Eek! I mean, she's really good at catching them. She threw them up and she caught them like it was nothing. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honour. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Crime scene. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead, let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much too. Into your cars, it was cold. I think it's this statement with the locket. Oh wait, hang on. Okay, right. It is the locket because this is a close-up. So it definitely shows that he's not wearing a locket, whereas this one doesn't really show whether the locket's there or not. Okay. Okay. I got you now, game. I understand where you're trying to take me, or where you want me to go.
Objection!
Okay. You know, there was one curious part in the testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honour. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck. I believe she said, I hope you aren't about to raise objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honour. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean the defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all? He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah! Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Look, he's wearing the locket right now. You can see it around his neck. Say, yes. I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, you mean this? Yeah, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? That's why Phoenix has the words Papa on his hat, because he is an actual daddy. Oh my god. And you know what, right? Here's another thing. I'm impartial to kids. I don't really want them myself, but confirmed father. Exactly. But one of my favorite character tropes, and I say one, it's not like at the top, it's mid-range, but one of my favorite character tropes is single dads. And like, hear me out, guys, right? And it's not because obviously them, it's mostly because single dads always portray a niceness to them, like, because they're so caring towards their kids, and it's really nice to see like this caring side of a man. And that's why they are a really nice trope. Because, right, in characters and like comics and stuff, you either get the mysterious guy or the guy who's not that nice and is just full of red flags, but he's still okay. He's like, I can fix him, kind of thing. But single dads, they are one of the cutest tropes you will ever see. Just the way that they're so caring towards their kids, or like just how loving they are. And I know not every character that's a single dad is portrayed that way, but the caring single dad trope is just one of the most adorable tropes you have out there in the world of characters, etc. I get what you mean. The nurturing side also applies to pet dads. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I think that's one, like, guys that show a kind, caring side is just, oh, yes. It's a very attractive quality. It is honestly a very attractive quality, and it's just, you don't often see it in like characters, or in real life you do in some people, but not all the time. So it's really nice and heartwarming to see, and it's going to be a trope that I will always appreciate and support. Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Dun dun dun! Oh, Justice, you know way too much. You've got good senses about you, because there is something going on and I can't wait to reveal it. Oh, but we have to get to the end of the case to reveal it. And I don't even know if we'll be able to complete the case today. Oh, we shall see. We shall see. Well, now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost badly. Miss Orley, you'll testify to the court about the game played between the victim and defendant. Duh. But this is why I like Hobo Nick, the single dad. Oh, and his daughter's so cute. You have to meet her. She is adorable. The game began with 3,500 point-in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I'd done it in a fit of anger, Your Honour, and now I regret what I'd done. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. I remember doing this part of the game and it took me forever to figure it out. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Not usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Duh, of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Press harder. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, but thanks. Now that I've pressed it, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles, even? Нет. As I have been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. 2 types of chips, 100-point chip and 1,000-point chip. That is not money, duh? Justice. Sir? Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. Comrade? Do you mean Olga? She's a little Russian girl. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony? Add a testimony. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honour. One kind of chip is worth 1,000. 2 kinds in all. Mr. Gowan said his testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court a favour and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips. Duh? The small ones are 100 and the big one's 1,000? Right? Right, of course. Ha! Don't waste our time. Is that all? Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. Calculation. Okay, so we are going to do some calculating. So each person starts with 3,500 chips. So it's 7,000 chips total. Now, if the big ones were 1,000, there's too many of them, way too many of them to be considered because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I've lost count. I've lost count. There's 10 of them there, right? Which means that the bigger chips, the black chips, are actually 100 per chip. And it's the red chips that are 1,000 because there's 6 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So each man had 3 reds and 5 blacks to start off with, which means, right, so the victim's side is on the top right-hand side. So he had, 2,900 chips. or points. Whereas Phoenix has 4,100 points. So the whole entire thing of, oh, Phoenix was losing, that's why he threw a fit, is not true, because Phoenix was actually winning. So we shall present this. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the pictures enough to tell you who won if you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, can you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honour. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course, duh. Oh, I thought so too, but then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness... I nearly said what the witness has told us. What the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honour. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Both are white. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The values of the chips was the other way round. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Oh wait, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Thank you, Judge. I can do maths. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Ah, exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. That was really weird. Horror, hello. Thank you for the 30 redeem. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. 4,100 points. Well, now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Yeah! Oh god, I don't do screaming, honestly. Like, I'm really not a screamer. When I get scared, I don't scream. Oh, I mean, gonna hang out here for a bit while I'm setting things up. What are you setting up, Horror? What are you setting up? Is it something fun? Is it a bouncy castle? Is it? We can jump up and down on it. I'm so sorry. You wish. Oh, bouncy castles are so fun, honestly, even for adults, especially for adults. I'll never forget the time my friend hired a bouncy castle for a kid and the kid's friend. After all the kids went home, I was like, my turn. Because they weren't going to return it till the next day. And I was like, do you know what? It's still here. I might as well make use of it. I haven't been in bouncy castle since my nephew-in-law's birthday about 5 years ago. Yeah, mine was probably about like 3 years ago. Do you know what we should do? I don't think anyone would be up for it, but you know they do those adult soft plays. We should go to one as a spa trip. I think we'd have a lot of fun. We'd wear ourselves out and we'd sleep like babies at the end of it. Oh dear. Yeah, bouncy castle for the spa. Oh my god, that'd be brilliant, Tyria. But no, I want to try to play more Pacific Drive on stream soon. Ah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I need to look into... Do you know what? Steam is terrible. They keep emailing me and be like, hey Jatsu, hey, look Jatsu. We got discounts here. We've got sale here. And I'm like, no, I have no money right now. I need to wait till I get paid. We went to a bouncy trampoline place with the same nephew a couple of years ago. I've not actually been to a trampoline place. Like my sisters have, and they always rave on about how good it is, but I've not been. And yeah, I think I'd be up for doing a trampoline place, but a bouncy castle or a soft play place for adults sounds more fun, in my opinion. Or oh my god, laser tag. I haven't been to laser tag in ages. The last time I went to a laser tag game was what? When I was at uni. Oh my god, when I was 18. That was a long time ago. I'm in my 30s now. It was just running extra janky last weekend, so I'm hoping it'll run okay today. Because I don't know what Mike can do to get it fixed. I threw my back out at the trampoline place because I'm ancient. The ancient horror has thrown out his back. Go look after the old man. But yeah, I think a spa day trip to like something like that would be a lot of fun. To be fair, as much as I'm really scared of heights, I actually wouldn't mind going bouldering again. I suck at it. Like I can only do... So with bouldering, there's like different routes that you can take. So it'll be the coloured rocks, and you can choose the difficulty of your route to climb up to the top, which is not that high. It's only like what, maybe 2 meters high. And it's all indoor and stuff. I know some places do outdoors, and if you end up climbing higher, that's not bouldering anymore. That'll be top rope, because it's too dangerous, I think, for people to do higher climbs unless you are or can prove that you are capable, etc, etc. Anyway, so bouldering is actually a lot of fun, but I can only do the easy routes because my hand-eye coordination is brilliant because of like being able to draw and, you know, art and stuff like that, and building stuff. I'm great at building stuff. My hand-foot coordination is absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. From Rebecca, I need a life alert soon. It's because you're little. What do you mean because I'm little? What, because the wall seems high? Or because I can only do the easy routes? But mouth coordination's on point though. No. 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 But yeah, my feet are so clumsy. I can do... what was it? So I went to see a waterfall with Alfie Wormy in Wales, and we had to cross a bit of water, and there was obviously like a stone path, so you'd hop from one rock to another. I cannot for the life of me, because you can't reach the big rocks. Oh, thank you so much, Tyria. I can climb my way up. If I have to, I'll claw my way up. Jackson's vampire comment. What do you mean I'm vampire? I'm not a vampire. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, crossing the bit of water with all the rocks. So there's like a rocky layout footpath, and you can't cross running water. I can cross running water. I'm just not very good at coordinating my feet, so it takes me ages to get from one rock to another because my brain's like, okay, foot forward, do not step in the water, step on the rock, Jatu, on the rock, and half the time my brain just wants, also my brain, just my body just wants to just step in the water. I'm like, no, not the water, the rock, we must stay dry. Stand and tramp excuse straight from the trying to be human handbook. How to be human 101. A handbook for vampires. Written by horror. Is that the book that I've got? Amongst all other books of how to run the spa 101, how to be the sussy king 101. All the books for who I am and how I am as I am today. But yeah, so yeah, no, I think bouldering quite fun. Top rope is also fun, but it really triggers my fear of heights like really badly. So I'll be able to climb up. It's the coming back down part where you have to, it's almost like abseiling down the wall, which I can't do because you kick yourself like off of the wall and then slowly like come down, and it's too scary, way too scary. Yes, but you have an early edition. It updates the cover, but not the information that you need a new one every year, like a school book, because you're little. Shh, I'm not that little. And then last time I went top rope was with my sister. I weigh a lot more than my sister does. My sister's a stick. But she was holding the rope for me, and she was just like, no, it's okay, Jatsu, I got you. I'm like, you don't got me, I don't trust you. you weigh less than me, you aren't strong enough to hold my weight up. She did though, manage to, but so that'd be $47.99 plus delivery. Well, why plus delivery? Surely it'd be free delivery, £35 or more, right? Where's my deal, horror? And the fact that I've been so dedicated to like your books, etc. Surely I'd have a membership discount. Not for school books. That is also true, yeah. Not for school books. Fine, I'll just have to find a second-hand copy. A trashed one with all like the highlighted bits and the love hearts and blah 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 was here. You can get discounted used copy for $47.49. Yes, the best discount I've seen all year. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Eek! She's so good at catching the plates. Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Very convincing eek. I know, it is the most convincing eek ever. Excuse me. Oh, did she say something? Okay. We must now ask ourselves whether we trust the witness's testimony yet. Hold it. Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley? Oh, she said hold it. I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. There was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. From Homestar Runner? What's he doing there? Who's from Homestar Runner? And what is Homestar Runner? I don't know what that is. Great. Just great. Am I showing my age, damn it? To be honest with you, horror, it might not even be that an age thing. It might just be a not over the pond thing, as well as Jatsu's very sheltered and lived under a rock and still does to this day. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn for the interesting. Jatsu is sheltered as fuck. Yeah, I am. Homestar Runner is an old animation series from the Flash days. The cheat is a character. Okay, if it was something that was online, definitely wouldn't have seen it. This is going to sound really, really sad. Most people know Strong Bad. Nope, I don't even know that one. When the internet came about, I'm going to start showing my age. Back in the day, when the internet existed, I'll have to educate you. That's fair. You can if you want to. to be honest, I'm going to be more than happy to see what these characters are and who these characters are and learn about Homestar. But yeah, so in regards to the internet, when it came about, all of my friends are like, oh, you know, have you seen this? Have you seen that? It's like, what, Vines and YouTube and all sorts of stuff. And everyone was like using it for like watching funny stuff and learning weird online things. I purely used it for homework. That's how sad I was. I used it only for homework. I didn't even use YouTube. I mean, I do nowadays a little bit more, but that's only to look up songs. That's it. Or to watch other streamers' VODs, or find out information about things. That's all I use YouTube for, like tutorials and shit. That's it. I don't use it for what everyone else does. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but that's just me doom scrolling and then sending things to people and be like, here, have a pebble. Have a pebble. I think you'll like this. Have a pebble. I definitely do not know Trogdor. So you don't know Trogdor the Burninator? No, Burninator? Not Burninator, Burninator. Yeah, no, I don't know that either. I am, like Tyria said, I'm very sheltered when it comes to the internet. I do not know old trends, let alone new trends. I literally use it just to communicate with my friends. That's it, really. I use the internet for the most basic of things, communication and reading manga. That's it. And listening to music and gaming. But all of it's linked to just so that I can hang out with my friends. That's all I ever use it for. I do not know. Jess is a 50-year-old face for Carty. I really am, aren't I? Eat hot chip and lie? What do you mean eat hot chip and lie? If that's a reference to something, I still don't know what it is. But yeah, I am so sheltered. I do not know half the things that people talk about. No twerking or charging phone. Huh? Huh? What? That's a more recent meme, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? All the meme content I get is also all from Tyria. Anything I find on the internet that I do not understand, do not know, I always go to Tyria. No Kelly or her shoes? No. I don't know anything of internet, like meme culture, or yeah, no. I am so sad. I'm so old. I'm not that old, but I am old at the same time. However, despite being old, I also don't look that old because I am very unassuming. I made her watch Dr. Horrible sing along for a lot. Yes, she did. What were we doing? Have we just finished a film night as well? And then we watched that. Drawing. Was it just drawing? I think it was after a film night. So after a film night, and then Zingy left the chat, and it was just Tyria and myself, and then we were watching, Dr. Horribles, which was quite fun. It was quite funny. Yeah, it was after film. Yeah, and then we'll have to do more art days though, because I need to start arting all over again. I need to get all my brushes back, because you hadn't seen the guild either. No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of things. We know this. Jatsu is very sheltered when it comes to the internet. Because, like I said, I purely used it for homework purposes, and that's it. Right, let's continue the case. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Jatsu did not get cheeseburger. I did not. I still don't. I eat cheeseburger though. I had one yesterday. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. The last hand. Both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument dar. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand to poor Mr. Smith. I said that with such an English accent. I'm so sorry. Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. And that alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin, what's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? I can't say this bodes well for your case or career. Actually, I don't know poker hands. My my sisters, they like playing poker with their friends. I put the meme channel. Thank you, Horror. I will give it a check out later. Oh, if you have not joined the spa and you like the community, come join us. The spa is fun and crazy and mental, and we share lots of random things on there. But we have pets, we have toy kits, we have art, we have film nights, and we have memes, and yeah, just lots of things. Food, yes, food. Food is important. What was I saying? Poker. So my sisters play poker quite a bit with their friends, and sometimes they get me to join. And I know fuck all about poker. Honestly, I do not know the hands. I do not know. I don't know anything. So there's this instruction booklet, and I always get handed the instruction booklet because it tells you what hands there are and how you can win and blah blah blah. So I am sat there just staring at this instruction booklet like, right, this is how I win. This is how I win. I never win. I always lose because I'm the worst one at it. However, if at a game of Mahjong, I'm not like the best. I only know one or two ways of winning. Again, it's similar to poker. It's basically building your deck to then build like a hand, and then you be like, win. But there are, we score them. I wish I did. I don't really. I only know one or two ways of winning, but I do have a bit of better luck when playing Mahjong because it's more tiles, and you have more of a chance at winning, especially if you're not stacking the same hand as your opponents. So if you happen to be the only one doing that hand, then you're fine because you got all the what do you call them? Well, they're not really cards. Tablets? Would you call them tablets? Yeah, you have all the tablets at your disposal, whereas everyone else is probably stacking the same type of hands. But yeah, I have a better chance of winning. Tiles? Yeah, call them tiles. Little tiles. They look like forbidden desserts. Forbidden jelly. What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring. Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards of the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. Forbidden pandan jelly. It really does look like forbidden pandan jelly. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. I just found an eyelash in my mouth. I was like, what is this in my mouth? It's an eyelash, chat too. Eyelash. Stop eating your eyelashes. Oh, wow, they both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go oh my god. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. Are you one of those weird No. Ew. 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 Although, no, well, Tira will know this. So we collect dolls, ball jointed dolls, and you can remove their eyes. And it depends on each collector. So you get like the silicone eyes, the plastic eyes, the acrylic eyes, and then you also get the glass eyes and the resin eyes. I prefer using glass eyes. I like them a lot better and they photograph better in my opinion. But the glass eyes, they're like so round and smooth. And sometimes I do get the temptation to just put them in my mouth. So would that count as a weird eyeball licker by putting glass eyes in my mouth? I've never done it, but my brain is like, do it, Jancy, do it. Put the glass eyes in your mouth. I've never done it in my life. I promise you, I've never done it. But the temptation is high and is there. The defense may cross-examine a witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, then that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Okay, so last hand by both men were full houses. Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway? It is quite hard, Da. It is making a pair and three of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3. Very difficult, Da, but it's not impossible. Okay, full house, hard. This line of question, a waste of time. Hold it! 4 of each card, you say? Da, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting, in fact, that this number 4 comes from the number of seasons. Huh? You don't say. Ah, did you know that the cards are numbered 1 to 13? Add all the cards in the deck and you get 364 a year. Huh? You don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards. Huh? You don't say. We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going on like this. The random name given to that clip is very satisfying to say. Oh my god. What did you clip, Horror? What did you clip? I was like, clip? What clip? And I looked down at my dash, I was like, 1 clip. I was like, oh. Although, right, I am trying to edit more of my clips to post up onto like TikTok and YouTube. So I appreciate every single one of you that do clip my channel because it helps with me like creating content to share with everyone else. Wasn't me, it was Berry. Berry's not here, or she might be lurking, I don't know. I know she's busy and her sleep has been all over the place, so she might be sleeping. How was it clear? Da, well, the defendant. You played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Okay, I'm making coffee and gonna try to go live myself. I'll lurk for a bit. No worries, I hope you have a good stream. And I'm gonna give you a shout out actually. Unnamable Horror. I rarely do give people shout outs. Like I do when they come in. I forgot! There's no clips! Ah, no, I forgot to do that overlay. Boo! Boo, hiss, boo. I will get that back up and running. I was all like, yeah, let's see what clip plays, blah, blah, blah. There's no clip, Jazzy. You didn't set it up last night. Yeah, but no, but thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate everyone that does stop by and comes chat with me, even if you don't chat and just lurk as well. That's much appreciated too. Also clips as well, I appreciate them because they help me create more content. I like looking through them and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I can edit it this way and that way, and then I can do this and that. So it gets me being creative in other ways aside from just drawing, which doesn't always happen, unfortunately, and sad times. Obviously cheating was a foot, or perhaps I should say a hand. Your Honour, perhaps this can be added to the testimony about Mr. Payne's joke. Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. But that's not true. Because he's got 3 kings and 2 aces there, and he's got 3 sevens and 2 aces there, so let's present that. Objection! It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice. Perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Here, this point. Miss Orley, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Eek! Objection! Oh, well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Taking a look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's his 5th ace? I see cheating, alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. It is true. I have seen it, the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin, who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honour, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes. The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defence would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine, the victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? The victim's, because the victim's was originally the one that Olga said had the 3rd ace. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defence requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. Oh, he can select it for us. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the R button to turn it every which way and X and Y to zoom in and out. Well, that should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Ta-da! There's a blue card! What? Your Honour, look at this. One of the victim's card. The back is a different colour. Eh? That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Oh, Olga. What was that, Miss Olga? No, yet. I merely said, da, I have eek. Your Honour. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend. A comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss Orley. She's the cheater, a professional, I'd wager. Yeah! A little scream. Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Apollo! Time to take advantage of her. Oh my god, not in court. Jesus Christ. Are all men like this? I'm only kidding. Ah, justice. Right. Your Honor, please record the testimony we just heard. That's impossible, but I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean? The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident, and if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Eek! Oh, she passes out. Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Orley? It appears she has lost, consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice. Your Honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggestion, a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. He held out. I see no point in prolonging this trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Where? Mr. Wright, you can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think, one of the cars had a different coloured back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks of the club have different coloured backs, blue and red. 1 colour per deck. Why use different coloured backs? If we use the same colour, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colours and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. That's because Christoph said they were using blue cards at the start. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. But whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong... Oh my god. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong colour got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck, which seemed to indicate cheating. Yet this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes. Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks to the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh. It might be as simple as you think, Miss... I'm so sorry. My reading is really bad today. It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the cards swapped into the deck? Do you think it wouldn't have been before the murder? Wouldn't have been during the murder? Maybe after the murder? Because it makes more sense. Because Olga said that she gave it to Phoenix. But Phoenix is now asking when was the card switched. I'm thinking after murder. Perhaps it happened after murder. What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world. That's very little impossible. Oh, even when the backs of the cards are a different colour? If you pull that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Ah, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight into crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game of murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Algoroli. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue card? It can't be in a Phoenix because there's no point in him doing that. Olga said that she gave it to Phoenix, so it can't be her. There must be someone else. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Algoroli either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong colour card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honour. I was just thinking how much fun all this is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defence is claiming, Your Honour. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that indeed after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong colour card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colours of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number in the card. Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house, so they picked up a king from the table and swapped it. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person, although it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. Oh my god, they're trying to use colourblind as a clue. No, they're not trying to use colour. So, what they're trying to do, they've already dropped the hint. Like, the big hint of who the fourth person is. So, they're trying to insinuate that there was a fourth person at the scene of the crime. Because at the moment, it just looks like it was just Phoenix and Olga, because they're the only two that have admitted to being at the scene of the crime. But there is, in fact, another person. There's a fourth person. But neither of them noticed them until now. And the game's already dropped a very big hint as to who it was. And I want to tell you guys, but also if I tell you, it's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin it. There's someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? Is it Judge? Yes, it's Judge. The poker head of courtroom number 3. I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honour. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. We get a break. Ooh. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I'd think you know... I'd think you would know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I've no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defendant to your defence in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. You see, you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. There's a picture of my daughter in there. Look how cute she is. She's adorable. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never... honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent's thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it. My reasons, of course, all shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I have no idea my cause of steel are that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Apollo... Oh, to be continued? We are going to continue. Yes, save progress. Let's go. Okay. So, oh yeah, and it's like it returns back to games menu. No, let's continue the game. Apollo actually does have a superpower. So if you guys watched my previous streams with like Nick and Maya, you'll know that Nick has the usage of a magatama. So we can tell when people well, they're not lying, they're hiding secrets. And Apollo has one of his own sort of special powers that does sort of the same thing-ish. It's not like you don't get psychologs, but you do get to read people a little bit better. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to crack my neck. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered? Yes, Your Honour. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing, you see. She's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defence would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poorer loser. Not. Name's Olga Orley, that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. Olga Quickfingers Orley. So this is Olga's real identity. She was pretending to be this weak little, or this meek little frail girl who was cute and yeah, she is not. She is tough. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like oh really? There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Look at her. Oh, witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. To be honest, this would have already had her kicked out of court, and for perjuring the courts and giving false testimony, blah, blah, blah. She would have been sued already. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress. And so you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card at Wright's pocket beforehand and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, Orley? How droll. But it appears you made quite a mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers Orley. Oh really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil masterman shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. Why do all the women do this? I had Francesca being all like, I like stepping on men and making them weep. And now we've got Olga Orley being all, I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Mr. Wright. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to, then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone, trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Okay, we are going to push every statement. This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. Let me guess, Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you are going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Mr. Wright's pocket. When was this? Right before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we served borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with the search. The card disappeared. Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace, poof, zippo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat. But the card was nowhere to be found. Is this correct? Never in my long storied career, never has Quickfinger's Orley been so readily duped. Oh really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Dun dun dun, she's about to lie. What was that just now? I sensed something. Is something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What do I do? Should I press her a little harder? Press harder! Miss Orley, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me? Quickfinger's Orley, hide something. The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss Orley, she touched the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? That's what she's doing right now. She's touching the back of her neck. Touching her neck, was it? So, Justice's power is this. We can look close up at the person saying the statement. Just give me 2 seconds. I need to grab a pillow. Hang on. Oh my god, that's so much better. I have lumbar support. Kinda. This will do for now. Okay, so yeah, so with Justice's power, we can actually zoom in on the person talking, and then we can find like weird habits or twitches or like body language thingies that will tell us that they're lying or something they've said is contradictory, or you know, there's just something wrong with their statement. And so with Olga, she'll be touching the back of her neck. So there might be something that happens, like her fingers twitch or something, or she does this, like the whole grippy of her hair and stuff. Whoa, what's going on? This sensation. It's coming into focus. there, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. What?
Gotcha!
Oh. I was like, why is it not working? Miss Orley, perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? Sorry, I was readjusting. I'm like readjusting everything just so that I got a better sitting position. So what? What indeed, Justice? I don't notice anything of the sort. Well, she says that part of her testimony. When she says part of her testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss Orley, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Could it be with a bottle? Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And that reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? Oh, what's he talking about? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I am knowing nothing. Oh, she reverts back. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Bah, fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've got an old testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. Oh, what's that? Oh, well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. It's Phoenix's phone because he called the police. Otherwise, the police wouldn't have arrived. So she can't have had him in her sights at all times. Miss Orley, I have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room and climbed the stairs and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant. when he left the room entirely. Eek! Oh, she's not catching any balls there. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Oh, is she retelling the story? But if it wasn't Phoenix, then why is she trying to pin the blame on him? Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets, now. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Ah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Mr. Right. And he hit me. Some master of cheating you turned out to be. That doesn't bear his fingerprints. Eek! When I came to, the victim was already dead. The victim was already dead, is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be the suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe, as a defence in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder, defendant, victim and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith, and the denouement of that argument was murder. Denouement? Denouement? How do you pronounce that word? Text-to-speech, where are you? I love using text-to-speech to teach me how to read words.
Denouement.
Denouement? Denounce? That's what I thought. That's why I said denouement. But text-to-speech is saying denouement. Denouement, even. It said it really weirdly. So, and the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Right. Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colours of cards were being used. A 4th person. Ha! This theory again, your 4th person doesn't exist! Indeed. And that's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch a real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck, a clue to the real criminal's identity was kind of provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. Oh, what? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said? The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the colour on the backs of the cards. Right, but how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who put the cards used in the final game? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Is it Christoph Gavin? Is it Phoenix Wright? Is it Shady Smith, Winston Payne, or Olga Orley? So at the start of the game, and I said this already, there was already a very, very big hint that the game had dropped. Someone in this list had said that the cards were blue. Now, it can't be Shady Smith because he's dead. He didn't speak once in the court. We'd only started hearing Olga Orley later on in court, so it's not her because she hasn't been there since the start. It's not Winston Payne because he didn't say that the cards were blue. Phoenix Wright, no, because he knew there was two lots of decks. So therefore there was a blue deck and a red deck. However, Christoph Gavin, at the very start of the game, was like, the deck was blue. So our fourth person happens to be Christoph Gavin. As expected, your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the colour of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colours in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with a victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honour. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing, excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph, you know even I never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. Defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder. I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There's a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was saying? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defence would like to request that you... The defence would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? Was a polygram the request? Mr. Wright, the defence would like to request that you testify to the court. Ah, he was gonna ask him to testify. I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defence believes that Miss Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defence, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Hear the testimony. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defence would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. To Justice. You have betrayed me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. Dun dun dun. I didn't realise Gavin was Justice's teacher. And no worries, Tyria, thank you for the lurk. I very much appreciate it. I hope whatever you're up to goes well. I'm really sorry, I keep muting my mic because I keep having to adjust it. It's like, oh, it's too high, it's too low, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is not how I want things to be. Not how I want things to be. That evening, Christoph and I at dinner, we sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder. Quite against my will, I had become involved in the murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favour when we took on your defence. It appears that I was wrong. Very well, the defence may cross-examine the witness. Justice. Sir, he's lying, and you're going to expose him. I understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Because this ain't a normal game, Apollo Justice. This is the Apollo Justice series of the Ace Attorney franchise, and no case is normal. All cases are fun and mysterious and mystical and full of puzzles and things that need to be solved. Appetite before murder. Okay, let's go. That evening, Chris had dinner. Okay, so we already heard what his statement was. He had dinner with Mr. Gavin. Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We're enjoying our usual dinner, our usual spot as usual. Usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner. Indeed, the remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left after that. 5 minutes. So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. And that would have been a faithful encounter, to be sure. Hee. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Yeah, I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear that they just passed in the hall. That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He'd then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swap the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I stuck a beak at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon. Dun dun dun! Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The guarded glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. This sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3, approves of this battle of wits. But there is no card inside. It's empty. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game, I suppose. Bottle. So everyone's already stated that it's the murder weapon, so we're going to present that because it's empty. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in there. No. Oh, what? Mr. Wright, surely. This isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honour. I won't have you disparage in our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh, push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Okay, so we got everything else, apart from these last few statements. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time? Not a soul, it was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the police. I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. But he said that he called them twice. Can we check anything? Oh. Wow, the battery's being held in with a piece of tape. He should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. Can we do anything else with the phone? No, we can't. But Nick's phone is old. It's like, again, showing my age. It's like one of them Nokia phones back in the day. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I'll be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Oh wait, when I returned he was dead, blood streaming from the cut. But he had his hat. Objection! He had his hat on. How can you see it was bleeding? Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Just good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And? I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do a thing like that? All I can say is I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Miss Orley didn't see it. It being the victim's his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin. Pardon? It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin. This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card into the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone. That night. Recall that I spoke to Defence Attorney Gavin after calling the police, just in case I recorded our conversation. What's this? And now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's that? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you turned out to be good. He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate? It wasn't you, was it? Me, please. The cops should be here in a minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Bone china plate. A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but pate. I was saying pate's pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion, not indicating my forehead. Wait a second, something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate the dinner with you, he left the Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china plate? Oh, that's right. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realised exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you know? How did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix, right? It's usually a battle of swits. A battle of swits. A battle of wits between these two. Order. I will have order, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honour. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defence Attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, the prosecution, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes, after which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for the cross-examination. Are you all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honour. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Final recess? And I might need to take a quick break as well, actually. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all. An ace? Where do I remember that card from? Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it, the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, the splotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. That's true, see? This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? And that's when I made the connection. Dun dun dun! She is Phoenix Wright's daughter! Oh. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? He is quite pretty, but I do like his brother better. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honour. Will the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honour? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have cleared. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honour seems to have an inordinate interest.
Objection!
Oh? I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright. What do you think you're doing, Wright? Well, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night and never once taken it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, that must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say? Not bad, Apollo. Oh, Christoph. Don't mind me. Just trying to stay hydrated. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. But very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Hello, how's this attorney going? It is going well, Barry. Hello, good morning. Have you just woken up from your nap? Oh, but yes, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. We are getting to the end of chapter 1. Actually, we are discovering the truth. So we've met Apollo Justice. We've also met Hobo Nick. Phoenix Wright is no longer practicing law anymore. He has become a hobo, a single dad, to a very cute daughter called Trucy. We are also engaged in a murder case right now where Phoenix Wright is the prime suspect, who is now... I'm still tired. Oh no, bless you. Don't worry, so am I. I am tired too. And I think after the stream I'm going to take a nap because I'm eepy. Yeah, so much has happened. So yeah, Phoenix Wright has been accused of murder. He has then pointed the finger. So we originally was pointing the finger at Olga Orley, who is the waitress at Borch Bowl Club. And then Wright turned around and said, no, it's not Orley. We are now pointing the finger at Christoph Gavin, who is this guy here, who is on the witness stand. Achoo! Hello, Alex. Welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. So Christoph Gavin, who is now been asked to take the witness stand because we believe he is actually the murderer of our case, but he is in denial of it, and he's going to, he's going to try and throw it back onto Phoenix. So Christoph wanted to actually frame Olga Orley for it, and I think that was his intention from the get-go. Sorry, I'm stretching. You have a free stretch. So that's what's happened, and we are now getting Christoph's statement, who is now saying that I will tell you the truth of what actually happened that night. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement, peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So, you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defence team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantaged to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are Mr. Gavin. This is Hobo Nick. Look how hot he is. Sorry. I love. So as I said earlier on, I really love Hobo Nick. I think he is. It's the stubbles and the fact that he's a single dad. And Tira was here earlier on. We talked about the single dad trope as well in characters, and it's a trope that I do enjoy and that I do appreciate and support. And we need more of. Don't worry, you can keep him. No, listen, right, Berry, listen. Single dad trope is that they give off this very nice and caring characteristics, which is really cute to see in men, by the way. And it just makes you go, oh, you're so adorable. I want to bully you. No, well, that's not why I like them, obviously. No, it's forget about the children. It's just that single dad trope, or the pet dad, or the dad pet trope. Jatsu's the bully, confirmed. I'm always the bully, and you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright, you had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defence should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honour. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial's getting weirder and weirder. And it's our first trial as well. So this is Apollo Justice's first ever case. And Christoph Gavin is his mentor. So he's going up against his mentor, which is crazy, I think. Although it is a bit like, well, actually no, because it wasn't Miles Edgeworth that went against Von Karma. It was Phoenix who went against Von Karma. So yeah, Justice gets to go against his mentor. And the radio sense that man, troubled me so much. Alright, let's press everything. And that man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers, his aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then you knew the true nature of your client's job? Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. What happened then? The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The black marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match, bad form to say the least. So far everything he says makes sense. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is, the coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead, and then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? A bald head and unconscious girl, and Wright holding the bottle in his hand. Oh wait, hang on. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime. Yes, as far as I can see, at least. Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Felix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I'd seen, I couldn't abandon my friend. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace, right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? Not yet. No, not yet, Your Honor. Not yet? Ha! Pathetic. Not yet? Try not ever. Well, Mr. Gavin? Oh, I'm willing to wait for as long as it takes. Great. I don't even know what the heck I'm looking for. Apollo. Yes, sir. Don't forget, you already know the answer. You just don't realize it yet. I already know the answer? Take a moment to think it over again, okay? Do we know the answer already? Wouldn't it have been better to wait for the police to arrive? Remember though, by that time I was already Wright's defense attorney. It wouldn't do for me to become part of the investigation. That makes sense, or does it? I'm confused. Well, what happened next? Where were you when the phone call came? I had already left the Borscht Bowl Club at that time. On the phone, he asked me to defend him. Naturally, I was surprised. I accepted, however. I couldn't abandon him. So kind of you. So far everything jives with Mr. Wright's testimony, I think. You don't know the answer? I don't know the answer, Shroomy. Is it going to be a problem for you to cross-examine your own boss? I'm fine. Who was it that taught me never to pull punches in cross-examination? It was you, Mr. Gavin. I learned it from watching you. Thank you so much for the hydrate, Shroomy. I do need it. It is quite warm today. Ooh. My room is really hot, but that's probably because I'm streaming. You get ice cube crunches. Oh. Ooh. Right, so apparently we have the answer to this already. Oh, we do know. It's this card. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. We do know why he had to hide the card. This is our trump card, because there's a spot of blood on it. Which means his head wasn't backwards, it lolled forwards. Was it this statement? Okay, because then... Pricing not a soul. Show evidence. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace? My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? Shroomy! This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Dun dun dun! Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card for some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. No. Impossible. Unacceptable. Court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I think that the only person who'd claim it as fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and the trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right, regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years you used to be a lawyer, you know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken the card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless. Ooh. Half his trials were very wacky, though. What, Shroomy? I mean, all the trials have been wacky. I mean, this one is, this is just so convoluted with all the backwards and forwards and all the trying to, I mean, to be honest, every case is a bit like that for Phoenix, right? But that's what makes them so fun because there's twists and turns and backwards and forwards and like, no, he did this, no, she did that, oh no, it was him, oh no, it was this person. And so I'm the murderer, but I want to appear in court and give you a witness statement and pretend that I'm all innocent when really I'm the real culprit. They're all like this, but that's why I love them, because the characters, oh my god, I love all the characters. They're amazing. All amazing. I assure you, this is quite based. What? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. He did interrogate a parrot. The M. Night Shyamalan twist. Yeah, exactly, Tyria. Exactly. It's quite simple. Well, Polo? Yes. Try picturing the scene of the crime. Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. We get a 3D rendition. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, There is one decisive problem with this scene. Oh well, what is it? Well, let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? I can't remember. So, right, I can't remember what's supposed to be presented. So we're saying that there was a drop of blood on the card, which is on the table. But the victim's positioning doesn't quite match, because then the drop of blood would have fallen down the back and not this way. So unless he was like leaning forwards, but he wasn't, because the blood is dripping backwards down the back of his head. So his position is wrong. He would have been facing the cupboard. I want to point to the victims and see if that was correct. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right. So what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. It just squeaks. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. That's such a cramped room as well. So we have to assume that... Oh, wait, hang on. He spoke so quickly. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing the scene in this photo. And that would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder, but this creates another significant contradiction. Again, let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses. Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? It'll be the killers, because the killer struck him on the front of the head, not on the back. The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is? I think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have been standing to strike our victim from the front? Well, it'd be here, in the cupboard. The killer had to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's about what you get. I thought I was on to something there. I hardly see to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Why are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. Oh, what's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defence. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honour. What? And there's one more thing you mentioned to look for. Just give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. I bet he misses it after not having practiced law for 7 years. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again, it's been changed. Okay, so we've got the killer standing in the cupboard. Hang on. I need another drink. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you so much for the hydrate, Terrier. It does sound like you, honestly. Like some of the funny things that we send to each other. That's why I was really confused when I first heard it. I was like, oh. Why is Terrier in my chat? Right, let's move this cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has been as shown here. Now, everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my, what's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, a second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime scene? It is the second witness because he said he was looking through the window. No way you can see anything with this cupboard in the way. About this cupboard, are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! Well, that's right, someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Oh, is the callers to the fence in the west losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin, and someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honour. Order. This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honour. What did they find? Well, Your Honour, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What? Dun dun dun! Yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that, now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you engage in legal ongoings or going-ons. I never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. They're all sweating. And it's not because it's hot. Well, I mean, depends on how you view it. It could be hot because their pants are on fire from lying. You see where our line of simple deductive reason has led us, Apollo. I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder. and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. And there he crouched hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came and he took it. Ah! What was it? Eek! What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realised the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime scene. Too bad for him, he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Look at him swiping at his fringe. Ooh. Have we come to the end? Well, it seems that this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honour. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, a defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Oh? Oh, no need to apologise. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honour, I'm shocked that a person of your calibre would be taken in by such a low-grade parlour trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honour. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court in this case demanded an explanation. I can think of only one reason why no one would hold a bottle upside down. Oh wait, hang on. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honour? See how the courtfish squirms to the last... Well, Paulo? Yes. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah, just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let me trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? take another look at the court record. I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, where he'd grab the bottle from sitting on the piano, so he's in Sliders. I've played this game many times and I've only just really noticed that he's in Sliders. Oh, he's such a sloppy hobo Nick. Oh dear. I believe you'll find a simple answer there in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. And perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down? Maybe this one. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honour. Place that bottle on the floor next to the chair. Excuse me, on the floor? Yes, now reach down and pick it up, without getting out of your chair. Ah! Let's see, you naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck, with your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow! I can't believe it was that simple! Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order, order, order. What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honour, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Bush Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What are you going to dust that? What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I'd be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humour me. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. It's got the card in it. There's something inside the bottle. The dramatic music. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Worley. Yes, our little swindling Devochka. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hands in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Dispose? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The five of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped, and the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, is he gonna break? Oh my god. The bowls of porch. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete. Is it tete-a-tete? Right. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm like, I think it's pronounced that way. This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? All he wants to do is prosecute people. I believe this time we finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any... oh my god. I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith, his occupation was listed as traveller. An odd profession to be sure, but that's all we know about him. I've arranged a follow-up investigation, Your Honour. Good. Mr. Wright. Yes. 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man of much significance for me, both as a friend and lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. A second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney, you, Apollo. Me. This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Woo! Yeah! Our Phoenix Wright is not guilty. Court is adjourned. Is that a portrait of the judge in the back there? Yes, our Phoenix Wright is innocent, and it was Christoph Gavin that was the murderer. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gab, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. Not guilty, yeah! You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, the sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Hey, it's Steve. Hello, Steve, and thank you so much for the 30 bits. Oh my god, your emote is so cute. That's really adorable. But hello, mister. Welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? Berry? don't go... No, Berry. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answers to that question yourself. The answer, right. Today was full of questions about answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could we have? Could he have to commit murder? That's that's why I was like, Barry, no. The Riz is only for me. Don't make me jealous. Riz is only for me, Barry. No one else. I didn't want to say it. I was just like, do I say it? Do I not? No. And don't side-eye me, Shroomy. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to use it on you. Thank you, Barry. Oh dear. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? It's too powerful. It really is too powerful. You better watch yourself, Steve. Barry might be coming for you. Let Barry give Riz whoever she wants. No, Shroomy. No. The Riz is only for me. And me only. Don't you do your little cute emote. You stinky Steve. Barry's mine. No, Barry, stop it. And thank you for another 30 bits. Oh my god. Thank you, very much appreciated. How you doing? I'm sorry, I can't help it. Barry, stop it. Oh, Shroomy, don't you just gigantified side-eyed on purpose, didn't you? But thank you for the 30 bits. Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me, I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. The locket does play a big part in this story, but we're not going to find out about the whole entire thing until I think the last episode. There's so many twists and turns in the story. I absolutely love it. And I can't tell you guys, because if I tell you, it's going to be spoiled, and we don't want to ruin the storyline, so you'll just have to wait. Your daughter, right? Well, that's right, she's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died, but it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified that you said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture in it. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. Oh, Phoenix. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Rice & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait. But didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. Wait, did Phoenix and Edref adopt a daughter? I wish, Shroomy. I wish it was them that adopted Trucy. So it... without spoiling too much, Phoenix adopted Trucy. And that's what you're getting out of me. Edref isn't in the picture at the moment, or anymore at the moment in this whole entire... Actually, no, that's a lie. He comes back in... I don't know if he comes back in the 5th and 6th game. He does make an appearance in the 6th game. I know that much. But yeah, in this game entirely, Edref does not make an appearance. He's not even mentioned, and it's so sad. But Trucy is Phoenix's daughter, and You are right. She is adopted. But you'll learn more about this later on. So there's so much story that we're gonna get through, and I'm totally excited for it. There's so much to learn, and we get to meet. Well, I say meet. I think in the next chapter we get introduced to what is known as the magical panties or the magical bloomers. They are amazing and brilliant. So there's something we have to look forward to. That incident 7 years ago, that legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. I know why you like this game, because of the magical panties. Yes. You're absolutely right, Perry. And that middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. And the case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the evidence. The card that Trucy gave us. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I'd think that the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Magical panties? Yes, Shroomy, there's magical panties. Or bloomers. I just call them the magical panties. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene, should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumour is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters now, does it? I think this is really bad of Phoenix, though, that he gave Apollo fake evidence to present to court as real evidence. If Apollo got caught doing this, he'd lose his badge. He'd lose his right to practice law as well. So he's endangering Apollo's career and potentially sabotaging it. And I think that's really bad of him. I know he needed evidence to prove Christoph was the killer, but doing this... Because the whole point of the story is them fighting to create a fair law system, and then they fight to the point where they found that there was no way that they can fight against it no more, so therefore they start creating fake evidence to then present to court to win their case, even though it's the wrong thing to do. It's so sad and annoying. I punched him. Apollo punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, take that next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. He had a good time of being accused of being a murderer. It's not how court works. Court is scary. I don't like going to court. I've been twice, and it's not fun. Hit that loser, Apollo. Hit the hobo nig. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. He is so cute. And that is the end of chapter 1. Ooh, I earned a thingy bobby. Happily never had to go to court. And you should keep it that way, Shroomy. Trust me. No, let's return to the main. Okay, so that's the end of today's stream. We have completed chapter 1, and we have there's 4 chapters in total for this first episode. Oh, he's so pretty. 4 chapters to go, and there's so much to like go through story-wise. And the worst thing is, right, so Apollo only really gets this game as his story. The rest of the games don't really... Oh my god, that's really loud. The rest of the games, or the other like parts of the games, don't actually discuss his story any further than this, and it's kind of sad. He does need more clarification in his backstory. Like, we need to know more about Apollo, and you'll see what I mean when we get to the end of this one and then move on to the 5th game. No, they don't kill him off. He just gets a bit forgotten about, unfortunately. And it's like, oh, poor Apollo. But he does have a very interesting backstory that they could have done such a good job writing, or gotten so much out of it. And I hope that game number 7, if it is in production, maybe touches more upon it, but we shall see, because game number 7's only a rumor, unfortunately. But yes, that is the end of today's stream. I'm going to call it a day because I am tired. But thank you so much to everyone who has joined me and stayed and, you know, watched and whatnots. But also, don't forget that I now have merch. So check out the merch. I uploaded the t-shirt today. So go check out the t-shirt. I'm going to try and get a sample copy, so then I have a copy to show off and also wear myself, that I have to try and not wear to work, because, you know, it's not a good idea. But yes, thank you again so much. Let me see, is there anyone I know that... Zerk is streaming, so it's... who do I raid? Who do you guys want to go see? Baby Meow is streaming, that's Zerk, and he is currently playing Darkwood. Horror is also streaming, and he's playing Dead by Daylight. What would you prefer to go see? Darkwood or Dead by Daylight? And is there a 3rd person? Well, let's not add too many people to the mix, yeah. Either Zircon or Horror. I don't know who to send to. Let's do Zerk, because, right, the reason why I say Zerk is because I haven't raided him for a while, and I did raid Horror not too long ago. So let's go to him. So just hold tight, and also let's hope it doesn't break. Because last time when I did a raid, it was all like herp dirt, break. Okay, it is working. Right, if you are subbed, please use this raid message. If you are not subbed, please use this raid message. I'll be back on Tuesday. We are going to finish off play in the Boogeyman, and I will do the voicing because I found that I wasn't enjoying it as much when not doing the voicing. So we shall do that instead. And yeah. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you again soon. Oh, I need to start music actually, because I have no music here. And I still have the stream ending soon bit, but I need to fix it up. So enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye for now, and have fun bullying Baby Meow.
Yeah, I'm